Welcome back to this extra special edition of UK Boating, where we're taking a look at all our favourite moments of 2011. At the Bruce Trust, I have to maintain 4 boats in full working order, and this just wouldn't be possible without the occasional use of a dry dock. So join us now as we look back at our visit to the Wyvern Shipping Company to learn all about the fine art of dry docking.
Well, a dry dock is a way of bringing a boat in and putting her down so that we can work on her without actually having to lift the boat physically with a crane and put her on the bank. So how does it work? We lift our stop planks, float the boat in, the stop planks then go in behind the boat. We then start our big electric pump and pump out the dock. The boat then goes down onto the girders at the bottom. The water's all taken out so you can then walk round the boat, scrape her down, do any servicing and painting that's needed. The dry dock, this dry dock holds about 15,000 gallons and we pump it out in about 25 to 30 minutes, providing there's no leakage on the planks. If it's coming in for a standard dry docking, it would come in one day, be docked, scraped, and anodes and things would be checked, stern gear all checked, and then the following day it would have its first coat of blacking. As far as the paint's concerned for blacking a boat, we used a bitumen paint, and the idea of that is purely to protect the steel from any rust or corrosion. Well, at the stern of a boat, first of all we check the rudder and the bearing and everything. Then we'd look at the propeller, make sure it's not damaged, and if it is damaged we'd have to trim it up. Then there's the wear and tear on the prop shaft itself and the rear bearing. That needs to be checked so it doesn't leak and wobble around. Then we would have to check the skeg, which supports the rudder, make sure that's in good condition. And we'd have to check the straightness of the rudder and the anodes. Well, of course, when it's in dry dock, it's in a covered shed, so we do jump on and take that opportunity of being able to do other jobs while you're under cover, which may include new door jambs or a bit of timber work or a bit of extra paint work or painting out the water tank. Now, also, when boats in dry dock is always a good opportunity to paint the red and white at the stern, because that's not easy to paint when she's in the water because it's only a few inches above the water and not easy to get at. So big opportunity to paint the red and the white at the stern.
Over the course of 2011, I also got to interview some really exciting individuals in the world of boating. Here are 3 of my personal favourites, starting with Tony Hales, Chairman of British Waterways. And then what about the future of British Waterways? What are the plans now?
Well, our plan with the government is to turn the England and Wales canal system into a charity and to take it out of direct government control. We believe this will create a more sustainable financial footing for the network, but it also gives the opportunity to give local communities, local people and national stakeholders like the boat operators a real opportunity to feel ownership and responsibility for their canal network rather than it be the responsibility of a government minister and his civil servants.
So John, who needs a boating driving licence?
Well, going back to the days when the bow bell ran down the Marchioness and killed an awful lot of people, immediately there was a requirement for all skippers of large passenger boats, and large is defined as more than 12 passengers on board, to have a licence. And that licence is called the Boatmaster, and it is actually awarded by the Marine and Coast Guard Agency.
Right.
They do the assessments, just like a coach driver in effect. More recently, that requirement has been extended to small passenger boats, that is, with less than 13 passengers, up to and including 12.
If we're in the station and the bell goes, the crew and the mechanic will run out of the door, kit up, leave the station, the helmsman will take the call, the Coast Guard will give us the information that he's got regarding the emergency. We will run down to the boat, as you've seen down there. We get down there, we start the engines up, we let the lines go, and then we go off to wherever the emergency is.
And what sort of emergencies might you have to cover?
We have, well, where we are, we've got a lot of rowers. As I said, we often get sort of rowers who capsize and collide. We also get quite a few vessels up and down in the summertime, and broken down vessels, you know, running out of fuel, things like that. People falling off the embankment or bridges. Dogs, we get dogs in the river. They'll jump over the wall and end up in the river, and the tide will take them. So it's a wide variety of jobs.
2011 has seen some amazing technological advances in the world of boating. On a slightly dreary November day, I travelled to Poole Harbour to investigate a breakthrough in hybrid boating.
You've got different modes of operation on the boat. You can just run the boat conventionally as a diesel-powered boat, and you start up the diesel engine and run, and off you go with all the 12-volt systems as you would on any conventional boat. Then you have the hybrid side of things, which is an electric motor which is coupled up to a diesel engine, and you have a bank of solar panels on the roof which are taking down the charge to the LiPo batteries. What actually happens here as well, on the boat you have shore power that plugs into the boat to run all your 240 domestic supplies on the boat, like any conventional boat. But the other side to it is, on this boat you can actually run all the domestic 240 volt appliances through the LiPo batteries through an inverter. So in effect the boat is self-sufficient, so if you're out anywhere you don't need a generator running, you do not need shore power plugged in, and you have 12 volt systems and 240 volt systems running on the boat all the time.
So I'm here on this wonderful Green Line hybrid, but it's getting a little bit choppy and a little bit wet outside, so let's head in, which looks really warm and cosy. First off, we come into the kitchen, which looks really well finished. It's got loads of storage, which is ideal. There's a couple of hobs. I can see a great looking cooker, which I know is a microwave too, so those quick and easy bowls of soup will be ideal. Everything else you need, sinks, straws, all of that, and I'm really impressed that they've managed to fit in a full-size fridge and freezer. And it doesn't even look like an eyesore in here, it fits perfectly and is going to be really, really handy. As we come on through, we've got the seating and the eating area. A great table here. This bit pulls out so you can fit loads of people around for all those yummy wine and cheese evenings and anything else that you might want to enjoy here. And then we've got a few gauges here. It doesn't look too complicated, but I think it'd be helpful if Martin could just take us through what we're looking at.
I'll demonstrate to you now, just turning it into electric, okay? We simply turn the engine off, flicker over to electric, turn the ignition on again, and push forward on the throttle. Now we're just being powered by the lithium polymer batteries.
So actually it's really user-friendly.
Absolutely, very, very, very easy to use. You know, you literally just turn the ignition off, back on, and drop the throttle, and off you go.
It's competition time, and this week we have 3 super prizes to give away thanks to our friends at Zone Sleep. A mattress topper with spacer fabric technology to fit any size bed, 2 spacer pillows made from memory fabric and hollow fibres, and a his and hers spacer cushion. To be in with a chance of winning, simply visit uk-boating.tv. Entries must be received by midnight on Sunday the 15th of January. Now for the part I've been dreading, the outtakes. Believe it or not, I very rarely fluff the odd line. As you'll see, I find it all rather hilarious. I just hope the producers do too.
I'm recording, and
Sorry, I was going to go. Really? And later on, we're going to be learning more about the River Wey and the trust that looks after it. Sorry, I forgot to do that with my hands. Was that... All right. And what can some of the boaters, not some of them, because they all can.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to like fall off in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Another plane, sorry.
So yeah, we'll just go from the
Should have stopped these really, shouldn't we?
I know, yeah, gosh.
God, it's everything now. We've got trains, planes,
sirens. Sorry, something's jagging at me. Let's go and meet one of our essential emergency services, the RNLR.
I knew that would happen.
Whilst we're in Chiswick, let's go and meet our... Let's go and visit the... Sorry, I can't. Whilst we're in Chiswick... Whilst we're in Chiswick, let's go and visit the RNLI, one of our essential emergency services.
Show him about the motorbike.
Are you kidding me? Sorry, I shouldn't have had that refresher. I don't really remember when I first had to steer. I was like 6. Oh, 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 oh. Well, we could have kept going for hours with all our favourite items from 2011, but we've run out of time. From myself and everybody here at UK Boating, thank you so much for watching and for all your support throughout the year. We hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas, and we wish you all the very best for a happy, healthy 2012.